Okay, let's go ahead and see what we got. Really? Okay, another of these crazy castle games. So, yeah. There it is, the Crazy Castle song. We'll just let that play out, because I actually do like this song. I don't like the game at all, but I do like this song. So we'll just hold on to this happy moment as long as we can. Because as soon as we push start, things are just going to descend into misery immediately. And I will say that this does match the NES version quite nicely. Aw, and then it just suddenly ends. So no, we're going to just jump right into the deep end and get this over with. Well, it's a different Crazy Castle song, which manages to be worse than the, you know, regular other version of the Crazy Castle song. Well, that managed to be identical to the NES version as well. Ditto? As in, oh wow. Okay, that's something that's not in the other versions that I know of. This is actually a replay of what I just did. That's actually impressive for regular Game Boy. I don't think that, I mean, it's not obviously not going to save that permanently, like, you can't go back and check it later on, you can only check it immediately on, you know, right then and there, but even so, that's kind of nifty. And at this point, I would have to go scour Game FAQs again and read up on all the different versions. There have been Mickey Mouse versions of this, and Bugs Bunny, and Roger Rabbit, and, what was the other one? Woody Woodpecker's in there. Just so many different things have been... Oh, and then there was that Ghostbusters version that we got not too long ago that mixed Crazy Castle together with Lode Runner, of all things. With Ghostbusters, of course, because, you know, that matches so well. And, yeah, I think in the NES game there are 50 of these kinds of stages. I don't honestly know if that holds true for this Game Boy version as well. There is no way in hell we're going to come even remotely close to finding out how many stages it has, short of seeing if somebody hated their life enough to make an entire walkthrough for it. Okay, so we got to the thing I was hoping we would get to. A stage with different music. Although in the NES version that also signified that it had a different sort of stage layout as well. In the NES version it had a bunch of pipes and such, and was very different in that sense. Whereas this one just has different music and isn't really different in any other sense whatsoever. So yeah, the NES version actually gets the points there for having a stage with a different kind of thing than the other main... Oh, there we go! Pipes! And hey! It's even the regular Crazy Castle song. And again, I will say, I do actually kinda like this song. I don't like the gameplay at all, but this song is kind of fun. It's very upbeat and very peppy and catchy. So, yeah, now that we've seen the music, or, yeah, no, only the people with the hell's that called? Probably something or other, that thing where they see, you know, sounds and hear colors and whatnot else. Yeah, no, now that we've seen the different stage types and heard the different musics, we're done here. There's nothing else to see. Every other stage is just a variation of what we have already seen. There are no new things introduced, no new elements, there's no bosses, there's no special stages, there's no creativity whatsoever frickin' ever. Yes, yeah, no, this game is awful, can't recommend it. Every game in this goddamn series is awful. But we will still get to the others eventually. Let's go ahead and find out what we get next. GPSboy. What? What? Okay, so GPSboy. Error. GPS receiver not detected. Yeah, I had a feeling something like that would happen. Let's go to Google and find out just what the hell. GameFAQs does not list this game. Somehow I am not surprised. Okay, this is more alarming. Google has no information for this thing. It said it was a US ROM. Okay, here we go. Here's something. What is it? GPSboy is a portable GPS receiver system based on a GPS integrable module and a Game Boy Color. So, yeah, it's literally just a Game Boy Color GPS module. Tells you your longitude, your latitude, your heading, time and date, and your source, which I guess is 3D GPS, even though the picture of it is not 3D in any way, shape, or form. Take a look at this. That's the image that it gives. That's the GPSboy basic image. So, oh, wow, it does. Hold on one second, let me fiddle again. It does, in fact, show an amazingly rudimentary GPS map. And this is what the actual unit itself actually looked like. There you go. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this was probably not an official thing. This was very much a homebrew thing. So, yeah. This has been an interesting find. I had no idea whatsoever that this even existed, so whoever is the person who created this particular unit, kudos to you. You have surprised the hell out of a lot of people who did not think that this would be possible. Although I'd be really scared to use that, because it really looks like it's, like it would be likely to, oh, I don't know, catch fire or have some exposed wire or just kind of break. I don't usually like to see exposed mechanics like that, or exposed circuitry. So what, is there anything else on this page of interest? It is provided for free, including source code intended for educational purposes. And they have a link to download this particular ROM. But how do you acquire the actual... Oh, you just purchase a separate GPS receptor board, and then just sort of solder it together with a serial cable and other things like we saw there. You just sort of have to recreate his own Frankensteining of this device. You don't get a pre-assembled thing sent to you. Wow. So yeah, that was a thing, and there's no more that can be said about it, so next game! Okay. Well, let's see what else we can pull up. WWF Raw. Well, we're following bad strategy with some wrestling. Okay. So, yeah. LJN, of course. LJN made quite a lot of these wrestling games. So, let's see which... Yeah, you can't quite make a rainbow there on the Game Boy, LJN. So, yeah, let's see which wrestlers we got, because that's about the only point of interest in these WWF games, is just seeing who you have. At least there's a little bit of variety in what you can do. Yeah, one fall. We're not going to be playing this for more than one match. Yeah, CPU select is fine, I don't care who I end up going against. Oh, okay, I was gonna say, does it not tell me who they are? I would have been in a bit of trouble if it didn't actually tell me who they are. Okay, so yes, Lex Luger, Bret Hart. Why is it playing that song? Why did it randomly switch to another song? What did the... Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Yokozuna, Undertaker, Doink the Clown, and Diesel. Do they all have trademarks? They all have trademarks, wow. I did not realize a wrestler's name was a trademarked thing. Yeah, but like... It doesn't really... Like, you would think it would switch the theme when you switch to the wrestler, but it's more like 8 seconds after you switch to the wrestler, it's like, oh, hey, new wrestler, let's play their theme instead. So yeah, it definitely is the wrestler's theme, assuming that any of them are... I don't know anything about wrestling. Cannot imagine that anyone who had actual licensed theme music would be used here. But anyways, we've been on this screen for too long, let's just take somebody and go. Yeah, it said this was... what was it, like 94, I think it said? Yeah, 94, so... yeah. And yeah, this is why I said that, the only interesting thing about these wrestling games is seeing who's in them, because the actual sport itself, especially on a Game Boy when you have an A button and a B button and nothing else really, it's just kind of a button mashing fest where you can't even tell who is who for the most part. And yeah. Oh, and I got body slammed. I don't even know how to initiate a grapple here. And once again, backbreaker. Losing miserably. Doing more damage to myself than to the opponent. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be hitting. I'm just mashing all the buttons right now, and it sort of seemed to be working. How about this? Autofire. It doesn't like autofire. That's a shame. So yeah, anyways, we're going to be miserably losing this battle. And that'll be about it. Because I don't want to play any of the other wrestling games at the moment, so we'll just let them show up later on whenever they want to show up. I have absolutely no idea how to do anything. And I seem to have just given up entirely. Like, I was mashing the buttons for quite a while there and doing absolutely nothing. But yeah, that would be the product of having no energy left, and yeah. Wow, that's a lot of doink. So, total fail there, and I just try some other wrestler. Let's see if it handles any differently, or I don't care, Razor Ramon, and sure. Just to see if anything is really different. Although it would be kind of fun to take all these in-game sprites of the wrestlers and try to have actual wrestling fans guess and say, who is this character? Like, are these sprites recognizable to even the slightest degree by people who actually know the wrestling stuff from the times? Oh, no real differences in anything here, so yeah, this has been WWF Raw. Knowing how to control it probably helps a great deal. Again, having the instruction manual would be awesome for that. But yeah, not really much else to say about it other than I don't think any really good wrestling games existed until the N64 era. That was about when they started to become slightly good and enjoyable for even non-wrestling fans. So let's just go ahead and find something terrible. Ah, joy. So yeah, Chuck Rock. Definitely of the era where platformers were the thing to do. Everybody and their brother in the programming business was making platformers. And some people were making platformers and putting the same exact game on every console they could manage to get their hands on. This is one of those. And it's always the same game. Like, they didn't make any real variations on it aside from changing graphics and sound to what the specific system could handle. You are Chuck Rock. You can jump, you can pick up rocks once I figure out the button. Maybe we can't pick up this type of rock. There we go, you have to hold down first. Okay. So yeah, that's the and you have this belly bump attack. But yeah, that is the entirety of your sort of move array or move list. And because, you know, your main attack is the belly bump, it has no range, and you're pretty screwed when trying to deal with any enemy walking faster than a slow shuffle. And that is a thing which is bound to happen often. And wow, that restores so very little health. So, I'm noticing a general lack of sound. Let me check on something really quick. No, not that. So, yeah, no. I had thought that maybe I had the volume set way too low, but no. There's just no music to be had. So, yeah, I guess that's a thing for this version. I guess these graphics were so amazing that they could not manage to fit the music into the game. I mean, I don't remember Chuck Rock having particularly great music to begin with, but, you know. And yeah, all the way back to the beginning, I don't know if stages have checkpoints, because I don't think I've ever gotten to the second stage of this game. I've never bothered to play it for that long. Like, even in the world of platformers, which were coming out so frequently back then, you could still have done so much better than playing this game. And I'm guessing that that is just for points, because I don't think there are... No, there's, like, no collectibles, there's no objectives of stuff we're meant to get, like those things. But, yeah. Yeah, there wasn't a heart up there, so I'm not going to bother. And yeah, we are not yet in the next stage, it's just another screen of the first stage. Okay, that's a thing, apparently. Walking rock. I'll just be over here, away from that thing. Different. Is that a jump we can make? Like, seriously, what are you expected to do here? Other than fall in the green goo and take damage to... Can we jump on the flower? We cannot jump on the flower, so... Yeah, like I said... I guess I can say it's not really an incredibly bad platformer so much as it is an incredibly lazy one. They just made a platformer because everybody was making platformers and thought, oh, we can just make any old kind of thing and make it a platformer and it'll sell. And they didn't care to put any heart and soul or any joy or fun or anything interesting into their game. Like, you're playing as a caveman schlub. It's just... That's not a good premise to start with. And is that game over? Tell me that's game over. Damn it. Okay, so let's take out the dinosaur birds. Guess it's supposed to go the other way. Oh, I was actually standing on a tiny portion of it. Hey, wake up. Oh, it doesn't matter because I am now dead. Now dead, and that is game over, and it's not even an interesting game over screen, it's just your score. Also, in completing, less than 3 screens, of the first stage. I don't know how many screens total it is, but even just in that miserably short period of time, we got the high score. That is never a good sign. That means not even the developers could be bothered to play the game long enough to reach a good score to have as, the actual high score set. And, they did not even bother to program in, just set a high score. They said, well, they probably won't even beat this number. Well, how do you know? Yeah. Yeah, this has just been one... It controls okay, and we can't speak much for the music of this version, obviously. It's not really that great in other versions. It's just very lackluster and really boring and generic and not fun in the least. Can't honestly recommend it in any way.